Hi everybody, it's Keren here from tuppencecoloured.co.uk. Thank you very much for joining me, and this is what I've been making today. We've had the pillow boxes, the polka dot pillow boxes in the Stampin' Up catalogue for a few seasons now. They've stuck around with us for a while, which I'm very glad about because I really like them. They're a nice convenient size, but they come in one colour. They come in crumb cake. Now I was looking through the new Stampin' Up catalogue, the autumn winter 2019, and I noticed that there was a polka dot pillow box that was not crumb cake. I think it looked like it was either rich raspberry or blackberry bliss. And I thought, do you know what? I've never thought of colouring one of those boxes before. So today I have, and this is what I've done with it. Stay with me, I'll show you what I did. I'm going to colour my little pillow box with real red ink. Now there's lots of ways I could do this. I could sponge it on, I could roll it on with a sponge roller, I could try picking up with a brush, but I'm going to go direct to paper. So I've got my ink pad, I'm going to use a piece of scrap paper to protect my hand. I've got my craft mat down to protect my work surface, and I've got a bit of scrap paper in my pillow box to protect the other side of it. And I'm just wiping the stamp pad over the pillow box. Now this is the quickest way of doing this. It's also the messiest. Turn it over, and I'm going to do the other side. Okay, so this is direct to paper, and you know, I may need to re-ink my stamp pad a bit sooner than I would have otherwise, but otherwise it's not too bad at all. Right, now what I need is a cloth or a piece of tissue here. That'll work, and again, protecting my fingers because real red is well known for getting everywhere you don't want it to. And I'm just going to polish away the excess, flip that over, same thing on the other side. And it should even out the colour. So that's got an awful lot of ink on it. I'm going to set it aside for the ink to dry while I clean myself up. I have cut out this heart with one of the Be Mine dies from a little scrap of real red, and I've got some grey granite and a finger dauber, and I'm just going to sponge around the edges, make it look nice and grungy. And now I'm going to take this embossing folder, which is called Script, I believe, and I am going to put my die cut heart, not my real heart, because that would be weird, into the embossing folder with the Stampin' Up. Okay, so that's going to be the top, and the writing, the script runs across the folder. So I've aligned the die cut the way I want it. I'm going to take this over to my die cutting machine, and I'm going to cut it out. And I am back, and of course I didn't die cut anything, I was embossing. But I do want to say a word about this folder, because it's one of the new ones that Stampin' Up now brand themselves. Now Sizzix used to make the embossing folders for Stampin' Up, but they don't any longer. Now Stampin' Up now get their own manufactured, and This one is, it's a different thickness to the ones that we used to have in our catalogue. Now it's a dynamic folder, so it's a bit thicker than the ordinary embossing folders where you just run it through with 2 embossing plates. We have a new embossing plate, so it's transparent blue, and the way I ran my my sandwich through was I had my base plate, my ordinary standard platform, my folder with my card in it, and my blue plate on top, and I ran that through, and that is the result that I've got. Right, so I'm quite happy about that. And bring in my Delicata Golden Glitz, another sponged over, picking up some of the Golden Glitz ink, and I'm just going to run very lightly across the top of my die cut and embossed piece of card. I'm just barely touching it, just lightly stroking it, just trying to pick up that embossing. And yeah, I'm getting some on the background, but you know what, this is a grungy piece, so I'm not gonna get too upset about it. Okay, so yeah, so I'm happy with that, and I'm gonna move on to the next stage. So I've got a whole lot of die cut gears left over from a previous project where I've coloured them and I've grunged them up, and if you want to see how I did this, I will put a link to the project down below. Alright, so go over there and have a look. I'm not going to do it all again because it would make this a very long video, but what I am going to do now that I've got my Delicata Golden Glitz, I'm going to add little spots of my goldy ink. Copper would be even better, but I'm still waiting for the copper to be delivered because I didn't order it straight off. I wanted to see what the gold and silver was like, and I am happy to report that the gold and silver is absolutely stunning. So just little bits here and there. One of them. Okay, I shall keep it handy, and as I need it, I will add it. Right, okay, so I've got a piece, it's a 1 inch circle of, and this happens to be basic grey, could be any kind of neutrally colour. It's just going to sit in the background, give me something to stick my ribbon to in a little while. Alright, so I'm just going to build this up, and it's very warm here today, so my liquid adhesive doesn't want to play, at all. Come on, out you come. Excuse me, folks. I may have to take a pin to it in a moment. Okay, so I'm just kind of layering those up, and let me bring in the heart. I am going to have to take a pin to this in a moment. There's plenty of ink in there, it just doesn't want to come out. There we go. And just a bit more glitz here and there. Okay, what else have I got here? Let's see. Right, I think I'm reasonably happy with that. I may add a couple more gears here and there, but I think just for now I'm going to set it on one side and let everything set. Right, so yeah, just filmed a segment and forgot to turn the camera on. So what I did was I stamped this sentiment for you from a good man onto a scrap of Sahara sand, and I just cut it out roughly. I used real red ink, and then I stuck it down with some mini dimensionals. So here is my pillow box that I've coloured, and I've actually added a few little dots of the Delicata golden glitz here and there, just to you know, just to lighten it a little bit. Oh, and I forgot to mention that I sponged around the edges of this with grey granite. So if I was now ready to pop my present into my box, what I would do is I would tuck that end in, which has got the little half circle cut out of it, and I would, you know, if it needed a bit of persuading, I would just pinch along that curve a little bit. Then I would pop in the other side and pop my gift inside, and then again pop down the one with the bit missing and pop the top over, and there is my pillow box. Now I could hold that down with a little bit of tape or with a glue dot if I wanted to. I'm not going to, because I haven't actually got a present in there. But what I am going to do is I'm going to take a piece of the burlap ribbon and I'm going to wrap it around the box with about an inch of overlap. And where has it gone? Cannot find it. Things are just wandering around today with gay abandon. I had a little circle of real red card, which I cannot now find. It's gone AWOL, never mind. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to put a couple of glue dots onto my burlap ribbon, and I'm just going to stick them straight down onto my pillow box. Now what I would have preferred to have done, if I could have found my little circle of real red, would have been to stick it to the card. Okay, so just pretend I've got a circle of real red card here, and then that way whoever gets the parcel can just slide off the belly band. Okay, so same thing on this one. On this surface I'm going to put 2 small glue dots, and then draw that round and press it down. Right, now I'm going to take another length of the ribbon. This is about, what, 2.5 inches long, and I'm just going to snip between the threads like this. I'm going to do the same thing at this end, and I'm just going to see how this looks. I'm not 100% sure whether or not I'm going to use it, but I'm going to see how it looks. Right, so I'm just going to fray those out. A bit more at this end. You have to be careful because you can get carried away with this and it can all go horribly wrong. Right, so I'm going to pop that in there. I may come along and take it off again. I'm not committing, I'm not guaranteeing it, but I think it might look quite good. And you know what? I think it does. So onto the back of this piece, I'm going to put some dimensionals. going to cover over that ribbon. And I am going to call that complete. And there it is. That is my finished pillow box. And yeah, I hope that you've enjoyed this video. Now I just want to remind you again that if you want to know how I made the gears look all old and rusted, then follow the link in the box below. I will link to the video in which I showed you what I did. Otherwise, that is it for today. Thank you very much for joining me. Would love it if you came back and saw me again sometime soon. But for now, bye bye.